The king of country music helped the Houston Rodeo break attendance records this year. But the biggest crowds, they were at the carnival. More than 2.5 million riders.
Game on.
More than 600,000 prizes from the carnival games. And don't forget the 376,000 fried Oreos you chewed up.
For the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Welcome to the show.
On their website, the rodeo tells us how much they give to help Texas youth. And they're real specific, $27,174,610. That seems like a lot of money, right? But what the rodeo leaves out is how much money they're making from all the free labor of tens of thousands of volunteers and the millions of you who pay to help them out. That's the best way to see how much a charity really gives to charity. The rodeo's last tax return, almost 2 years old. It shows revenue of $125 million in just 1 year, assets of $276 million, more than $250 million. But there are financial records Houston's Sacred Cow simply refuses to show its volunteers. How much of the money you donated for Texas kids was sent instead overseas for financial investments, and to whom? How much of the money goes into the pockets of members of the board of directors' companies? I love Santana, my favorite band ever, but I refuse to buy a ticket. My personal protest. The rodeo secrecy can't stand. They have to play by the same rules as all Texas charities.
The fight between the rodeo and Mr. Dolcefino goes on.
The rodeo decided to spend charity money on high-priced lawyers in the last year rather than simply letting us see the rest of their financial records, the ones you don't see on their website.
The bill in this case to the rodeo could be staggering, which is all money that could be going for their alleged charitable purposes.
Since by now everyone knows we don't do sacred cows here at Dolcefino Consulting, we filed a criminal complaint over the rodeo's record secrecy. And those charitable folks at the rodeo took revenge. They even admit it.
He went to the district attorney's office and asked for criminal charges to be filed against the rodeo. And that's why we're here in court.
The rodeo wanted Judge Stephen Kirkland to say they could legally hide those records.
When they put up this much of a fight to prevent you from seeing something, you have to understand that that's only because they really don't want you to see it.
But after repeated failures, the rodeo went shopping for a way to get a new judge. That failed too. And now the Texas Court of Appeals has set Tuesday for lawyers on both sides to do their thing. The rodeo doesn't seem to understand that the more they try to hide their records, the curiouser we get. Why aren't there any police reports of any crime at the rodeo? For years, 2 million people go. Nothing happens? We know people get hurt because the Houston Fire Department has records that prove it. And those records showed us something else.
The ride was stuck at the top for 8 full minutes.
Remember, the media found out a few days after it happened that new Titan ride got stuck in the air for 8 long minutes, fully loaded with riders, 17 stories up? No one from the carnival company, we found out, even called for a fire truck to help. In Texas, carnivals don't have to report malfunctions to state government, even though it could be a warning sign of ride trouble to come. The rodeo has used the same out-of-state carnival company for 26 years, Ray Kamek shows, even after a guy died in a roller coaster accident that cost money. And they've never asked in more than 2 decades for competing proposals just to see if they could make more money for the kids. Until the last several months, the rodeo sought competitive bids for the first time in decades. All those games, all those rides, it's big business. The rodeo says they made nearly $8.7 million from it in 2018. But that's only a slice of what the carnival company makes. The Houston Rodeo Carnival contract is likely worth upwards of $20 million. So why won't the rodeo let us see whether another carnival company is offering a better deal for the kids? Possibly millions. Don't we want more money for them? And isn't this one of the big reasons all those 34,000 volunteers actually work for free? For the kids. You may have seen Miss Moo dancing around at the rodeo this year. But why do rodeo bosses keep dancing around transparency?